How's it going, everybody? I am ZBilbs, and I'm back here with another metal ranking video. Now, I just ranked my top 10 favorite metal albums of 2023, and I figured it would be a good thing to follow it up now with my top 25 favorite songs of 2023. Now, most of these songs on this list are going to be from albums that are on those top 10, so be sure to check out that video if you have not yet. If not, just sit back and enjoy the video. Comment below any other songs you like or any other video suggestions you have. Also, a quick word on this is that I have 25 songs to get through, and not every song I've got like super detailed thoughts about. Some of them is just like, yeah, I like it. So sorry for if some of the commentary is a little basic. Some I might just blow right past for the sake of time. But yeah, either way, let's start it off with a couple honorable mentions. These are just, I picked one song that I really liked from a band who didn't get a song in the actual top 25. So yeah, I've got Misericord 2 Anatomy of Quiescence. This was by Neobliviscaris. I've got Holy Flaming Hammer of Unholy Cosmic Frost by Gloryhammer. I've got Chokehold by Sleep Token, and I've got Mimir's Crystal Eye by Bloodbound. That one just missed the top 25. But either way, let's get into the actual top 25. At number 25, I have got The Forest Church by Green Lung. Now, this was the first song I listened to on their new album, This Heathen Land, and this one absolutely hooked me just right away. Just the deep kind of like creepy vibes to it, like the foreboding, like do you hear it gave me like massive ghost vibes, and even like in the vocals kind of, but then it goes with like kind of a fun upbeat chorus to it. It's got some excellent just fun doom riffs, so this one has stuck with me. It's a great song. Yeah. Moving on, number 24, this is a song that you're going to see, that is on an album that you're going to see featured many times on this list, so I probably won't say too much about every single one of them. But yeah, 24, I've got Impermanence by Catatonia. It's just a beautiful, majestic song about, obviously, the impermanence of life itself. What more can be said about this song that I'm going to probably skim over, just like every other Catatonia song on this list, because, you know, just the musicianship is spot on. The vocals are so beautiful. I think Jonas is the singer. Just the weird, like, kind of cosmic vibe to it all. It's just beautifully done song, like every other Catatonia song on this list. 23, I've got Lux Eterna by Metallica. Now, this was the first single released by Metallica on their new album, and it's absolutely excellent, at least for me personally. I love more fast-paced, kind of in-your-face, just fun songs, and I think, you know, Metallica does it very well. This is just, it's more of a rock song. It's not particularly heavy, but I love the chorus. Just how just fun, fast-paced, and soaring it is just my style. The only negative I have is the guitar solo is absolutely trash on this song, but overall it doesn't detract too much from this really solid song, my second favorite from the album. Moving on to number 22, I've got another Green Lung song, and that is Mountain Throne. Now, this is my favorite on their new album, and this, like The Forest Church, it has that same kind of creepy vibes to it, but this one even more. The riff, the main riff on this is such an earworm riff. It is so just deep and chuggy and just awesome. I also love the main chorus to it, the on the mountain throne. Just super fun, really catchy, really cool. Moving on to number 21, I have got Opus of the Night by Camelot. This one, on a lot of power metal songs, it's hard to say too much about it, because what it ultimately boils down to is this is a fun song. It's got a nice catchy chorus. This one also, I think it does some like weird like electronic stuff where it's like, and that really spices it up too. But yeah, the chorus is super fun. It's super epic, just really fun power metal song. On to number 20. I have got Motor Spirit by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. um, this one is definitely my favorite on their new album. This one gives me just massive Kill 'Em All vibes from Metallica. It just kicks you in the face right at the beginning and doesn't stop pushing down on the gas pedal. Haha, it was Motor Spirit. I don't know what too much more to say about this. This is just a sick kind of thrash or speed metal type song. Just very well done guitar work, some really catchy riffs on there. The vocals absolutely complement the style of music super well too. And yeah, that's number 20. Moving on to number 19, I've got Author by Catatonia. This might be their heaviest song on the album. There's a couple other kind of heavier ones. But similar, this one doesn't have quite as much of a soaring, beautiful chorus as the other ones, but it's still really good. It's more like subdued and melancholic than something like Impermanence, even though that one's also melancholic. But man, all of these are just so freaking good. I love the title of the album drop and the main chorus, "In the sky void of stars." Like, it's so good. If you haven't listened to Catatonia's new album already, just go do that. Just skip out of this video and go listen to that and then come back here. But yeah. Moving on to 18, I have got Deified by Theocracy. Theocracy's new album, this is the first time I listened to Theocracy, and I thought it was a good album. I didn't think it was one of the best power metal albums of the year, but it was pretty good, and this is the song that kind of stood out for me from the pack. Well, a lot of other songs that they've done and other power metal songs are a little bit more light and breezy. This one has actually got some grit to it. It's got just a super fast-paced, kick you in the nose type of main riff to it. The chorus is also super memorable. It's got an interesting, just cool message to it as well. So this is one that's definitely stuck with me too. So that is Deified at 19. Moving on to, pardon me, 18. I don't know how off I am. But yeah, Deified at 18. On to 17, I have got Mattel by Avenged Sevenfold. Now, this is one of the few songs on Avenged Sevenfold's new album that I think kind of stands on its own as its own unique song, but not really. It works better in the scope of just the album as a whole, because it's the closest to traditional Avenged Sevenfold that I can get. It's super fast-paced. It's got some deep, heavy riffs to it. But then obviously it's a little bit weirder because kind of in the main chorus of, "I know it might sound crazy, but I smell the plastic daisies," and that turned me off to it at first, like how weird the chorus was. But eventually I warmed up to it and ended up liking it a lot. And this, like other songs on their new album, you can really notice M Shadows, how his vocals have really kind of eroded and they're really scratchy and not very good. And I didn't like that at first because obviously I think he has really good vocals in his other albums. But I kind of what they do for this album in particular, I honestly like it more, the deep scratchy vocals, because just the themes in this album of just like sadness and loss, and they just work so well with just some like kind of almost sounding like some deep suffering vocals to it. Like there's one part in this song that just gives me chills, and it's like nothing at all, and it works so much better with like when his vocals are like breaking because he just sounds so like remorseful. And so this song, like on its own, it's a great just kick you in the face, like fun heavy song, but it's super deep too. But yeah, that's Mattel at 17. Moving on to 16, I've got My Will Be Done by Powerwolf. This is an absolutely excellent song of theirs. This one is deep and commanding. The main chorus of "My will be done." Da, 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 da. One of the more kind of aggressive songs on their new album. Obviously, I love Powerwolf. They're some of the best of power metal, so I had to have them on this list. You're definitely going to see more of them on this list. But yeah, I love Powerwolf, so it's coming in pretty high. Moving on to 15, we've got another Catatonia, and I've got Opaline. Now, this, man, I don't know. Obviously, there's not too much more to say. This is just a beautiful song, just so well done. The chorus is beautiful. The singing's beautiful. I can't really say any more about it. You know, it's great, like everything else. 14, I've got Game Over by Avenged Sevenfold. Now, similarly to Mattel, this is equally, it works super well as in the album as it does, I think, sort of outside the album. This one probably works a little bit less individually than Mattel. This one kind of has System of a Down vibes and the whole like which was a little off-putting at first, but I came to really love it. I think they do that vibe really well. And it works like in the song. It's like both kind of like fun and aggressive and in your face, and also just really sad, like especially when you hear like this song is about like a dude's life just flashing before his eyes before he commits self-destruct, let's say. And so it's like, I don't know, it's just fast and it's powerful and it's emotional, and it's such a good way to start this absolutely excellent album in my opinion. So that's Game Over at number 15. At number 14, correction. Moving on to number 13, I have got Valley of Disease by Avatar. This is my second favorite on their new album. Now, this song is probably the closest thing they have in this album to some of their older, more pure groove stuff, like Hail the Apocalypse. It's still got some a little bit weird stuff in there, but when you get the in the Valley of Disease, like just super fun, just heavy, just cool, groovy song. But yeah, that's Valley of Disease at 13. At number 12, another that I can't say too much about because there's not much more to say about it. That's Birds by Catatonia. Once again, I stuttered on my words on Opaline. Beautiful song, beautiful chorus. Even better than Opaline, obviously. It's amazing. Check it out. Birds at 12. At 11, we've got Heimdall by Enslaved. This song is super interesting in its structure, at least. I haven't heard, I don't think, there's another Enslaved song quite like it, where it starts and it's slow and heavy and it uses the black metal vocals. And then in the middle, there's like kind of this weird, techno electric transition. And then at the end, it ends in this clean vocals, and it just feels like a journey, which this album is just in general. And it's just a heavy and powerful and impactful and also beautiful song. And it really left a mark, and that's Heimdall at 11. Moving on to the top 10, each one of these songs is absolutely excellent. And kicking it off at number 10, I have 72 Seasons by Metallica. Now, I've railed on this new album a fair bit, but the one thing I absolutely can't rail on is this song. This is my absolute favorite on the album. This feels like just classic, fun, thrashy Metallica. I said it's very similar to their title track, Hardwired, from Hardwired to Self-Destruct, but it feels like a more kind of fully realized, fully fleshed out version of Hardwired. I love like the story behind it. Obviously, it's the story of the album, since it's the title track of, kind of a coming of age story about James, overcoming his childhood trauma or whatever, and like going out and performing for the first time. I'm probably wrong about that, but either way, it's just a great Metallica song. I wish there could have been more kind of like it in the album, but I'm glad we got at least one amazing Metallica song this year. And Lux Eterna was really good too, so don't discount that. Number 9, I have got The Eternal Sea by Enslaved. Now, my favorite style of Enslaved, I know a lot of people's favorite on this album, I think, is like Forest Dweller or Caravans to the Outer Worlds, because a lot of people are more like traditional Enslaved enthusiasts. Like they like the more black metal part of it, whereas me, is I like extreme metal a little more. I like the mix of black metal and then the clean vocals. So I tend to gravitate more towards songs that have more clean vocals in it than black metal vocals. I like a little black metal to give it some spice. But this one is very dominated by clean vocals. It feels like a fun voyage through the sea. It's just really beautifully done. Just a really amazing song. Yeah. Moving on to number 8, I have got Blood Moon by Camelot. This one, just like Opus of the Night, there's not too much more to say about it than it's just an absolutely superb done Camelot power metal song. It's probably got the most fun, catchy chorus that Camelot has in this album. It's got some fun, kind of heavy riffs to it too, at least for power metal. And I think it's just Camelot top tier at their game. This is the best that they've got on the album, in my opinion, but there's a lot of good stuff, so it'd probably make a case for something else. But yeah. Moving on to number 7, I have got Austerity by Catatonia. Now, all the other ones, there's not too much to say because they're just all so good. This one, I can say a little bit because it is the title track, so at least I remember like my first experience listening to this one, which is maybe why it's so high. But it just starts off just no bullcrap, just like it just goes, and it starts off kind of like heavy and in your face, and then the main chorus, just one of the best in the whole album, and it's just super emotional and impactful, and still has some fun metal grit to it. So I mean, I obviously I love Catatonia's new album, and this is one of the best on it. All right, next up at number 6, I have got Nobody by Avenged Sevenfold. I've mentioned in my albums ranked video, or favorite albums of the year, that this is my favorite from their new album. And I know I'm definitely in the minority on this, but man, ever since like it came out as a single, and I was like, I didn't know if I liked it at first, because M Shadow's voice is all gravelly, and then it has that weird like and I ended up loving both of those things. I think his voice, like I already mentioned, it really adds more like depth and weight and kind of, I don't know, like sadness to this album. Even if it was unintentional, at least for me, it worked really well at giving this nice gravelly tone to it. I love the also this one has absolutely killer guitar solo in the end. Like I cannot overstate how great M Shadows is in this album. And so this is like a surprisingly kind of heavy, just deep, emotional, just awesome song that I like both in the album and on its own. So Nobody at 6. Moving on to number 5, I've got The Dirt I'm Buried In by Avatar. This was the song I listened to. It just came up in YouTube feed, and I listened to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. This introduced me to the band. It's not exactly kind of a pure metal song. It's more of just like a fun hard rock song, but it's just super fun. It is so catchy. I don't know who the singer is, but his vocals really shine on this song, and it's just great. I love it. Yeah, moving on to number 4. Now we're getting into Powerwolf territory. I've already had one Powerwolf, but yeah, they've got some of my personal favorite songs. I think they do power metal. Nobody does power metal better than Powerwolf, at least this year. Obviously, I like Sabaton a lot. 4 is Wolves of War. This is the opening track for their album, and it's fantastic. It just kicks you in the face with like fun, kind of like folky riffs to it, and then it's another just banger, powerful chorus. Just, yeah, excellent song. It was really hard to pick between this one and the next one as to which is which. I could flip it back and forth, but yeah. Moving on, number 3, I've got Altars on Fire by Powerwolf. This one, I wanted to put it lower than Wolves of War, just because this one, it's not as original as Wolves of War. This one, it feels very similar to Incense and Iron, but Incense and Iron might be the best Powerwolf song of all time. So, yeah, I love it. I think it's even better than Wolves of War. I mean, just by a bit, but and it's not as original, but it's still an absolute masterpiece. This is just another absolute banger Powerwolf song. Yeah, moving on to number 2, I've got my favorite Catatonia song of the year, and that is Atrium. Obviously, this song, and just like every other Catatonia song, is beautiful. This one in particular, just the chorus is so just beautiful and haunting, and absolutely is still stuck in my mind. I'm still thinking about that chorus. Maybe it's recency bias because I've only listened to this album like a week ago for the first time, but man, there is something just so gripping about this song that, like, I managed to put it higher than some of the best Powerwolf songs of this year. But yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I can't overemphasize it enough, like how great this album is. Like, can't even describe how much I like most of them. I just skipped over them, but yeah. And number 1, not really a surprise for me, it is Sainted by the Storm by Powerwolf. Now, this, if you have watched some other my videos, you'll know that I actually ranked this last year. Last year, I had it at number 4 because I thought it was a single. What my rule is I don't rank singles that came out the year before the album that they're on came out. I like include them. If the album came out in the year, I rank them with the year, but I thought this was a separate single, so I ranked it last year, so cut it out there. Last year is at number 4, which shows that I think overall last year was a stronger year overall, but yeah, it's still a great song. I still like it as much as I did last year. It's one of the best Powerwolf songs of all time. It's super original, as this fun kind of like almost like pirate theme to it, but the chorus is amazing. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's Powerwolf at its best, just like most of this album was. And so that is an easy pick for my favorite song of 2023. But that is my picks. What are your favorite metal songs? As I mentioned before the video started, comment below any other songs that you really liked or any other videos you'd like me to do in the future. I'm going to be covering my most disappointing metal albums of the year shortly. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas and Happy New Year's, and I will see you in the next one.